Welcome to Luxora, your journey through struggles into light. In this final episode of our series on approval addiction, we stand at a turning point, the part we've all been longing for, freedom. Now, we've walked through the masks that hide us, the mirrors that deceive us, and the empty stages that drain us. We learn to step off the stage, step out of the shadows, and to step into the light of who we have been created to be. This is episode 4, Breaking Free. So now it's a Saturday morning. Sarah sits in a quiet cafe with her phone face down like a surrendered weapon. She's journaling, and the words on the journal look like she's unpacking years of silent pressure. The need to be liked, the fear of being misunderstood, the pressure to be perfect, and the panic that comes when I disappoint someone. And across the room sits Daniel, the perfect son, the one who never missed a cue, who never disappointed, who never broke a character, and the one who never failed. He's reading a book on grace, and for the first time in his life, he's not highlighting the path that tells him what to do. Rather, he's highlighting the path that tells him who he is. Daniel glances up and notices Sarah's journal, and then a small smile, then a little question, and somehow a conversation began. They laugh as they realize that they've spent years fighting the same invisible battle. The quiet, exhausting war of living on people's expectations instead of God's truth. Then Tara says, almost whispering, I used to think if people didn't see my light, that it wasn't shining. Then Daniel nods and replies, I used to think that if I stopped performing, then I would lose love. But then I found love when I rested. And in that moment, the two broken mirrors were no longer reflecting each other's cracks. Rather, it was reflecting grace. Not in each other, but in truth. That's how freedom often begins. Not with applause, but with awareness. Not with someone choosing you, but with you choosing yourself. That place inside you where God's voice is louder than people's expectations. It's learning to say, I can care without conforming. I can love without losing myself. I can disappoint people without becoming a disappointment. I can serve without needing to be seen. I can be enough even when someone or even when others think I am not. Breaking free from approval addiction doesn't mean becoming cold, detached, or indifferent. Rather, it means reclaiming your center. Let's talk about the actual process, the practical and spiritual journey of breaking free. Freedom isn't a feeling, it's a formation. It's not an instant change, it's an intentional choice, and it moves in layers. Here are the pillars that rebuild a soul that has lived on applause for so long. 1. Awareness. You have to name the need. You cannot heal what you refuse to name. Approval addiction grows in the shadow of unspoken fear. You have to ask yourself, whose approval am I carrying? Whose disappointment am I afraid of? It may be a parent, sometimes a partner, and sometimes the society. Sometimes a version of yourself you no longer want to be. Awareness isn't condemnation, it's liberation. The moment you mention it, it starts losing its grip on you. Number 2 is acceptance. Receiving God's word daily. Healing begins when you stop trying to earn what God has already given you. Identity from God isn't a reward, it's your inheritance. Jesus didn't wait to prove himself before he heard affirmation. At his baptism, before any miracle, before any preaching, before any signs, the Father declared over him, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Before performance, before public ministry, before applause. And your freedom begins the same way too, not with what you do, but with who you are. So start each day with this truth: I am already loved, I am already enough, and I am already accepted. Number 3, show up as you. Authenticity. Approval addiction teaches you to shrink, edit, rehearse, and perform. Authenticity teaches you to breathe. You don't owe the world a perfect version of yourself. You owe God your surrendered, honest, and whole self. The one He designed, not the one the culture demands. The world doesn't need your filtered light. It needs the raw brightness that shines through you and through your scars. Number 4, boundaries. Redefine your yes. A broken yes can destroy your peace, while a healthy no can protect your soul. Even Jesus, compassionate, loving, kind, meek, did not please everyone. He withdrew from the crowd, disappointed people's expectations. He even refused to perform miracles on demand. He didn't allow people's opinions to lead him. Rather, he allowed only the Father's will to influence him. Boundaries teach you that you're responsible to love other people and not to live for them. Number 5, renewal. Let the truth reshape your mind. Romans chapter 12 verse 2. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewal is the surgery of the soul. It is a slow, sacred transformation where old lies begin to lose oxygen and the truth takes root. Lies like, I must perform to be loved. If they are not pleased with me, I have failed. My worth is measured by people, becomes replaced with, I am loved, therefore I am free. My life is God-led, not crowd-led. I serve from identity, not for identity. Renewal, I must say, is not just a moment, it's a lifestyle. So now let's look at the example of Jesus and the crowd. The first thing I would like to say is that the crowd are largely unpredictable. People can love and rally around you in the morning, but they can reject you in the night. Jesus experienced both. The cheers of Hosanna and the cries of crucify him, crucify him. But he never built his identity on their voices because he already had the Father. In John 5:41, Jesus said, I do not receive glory from men. That statement was not pride, it was clarity. It was the stability of someone who exactly knew who he was and who he belonged to. So Jesus wasn't shaped by the crowd's approval or rejection. He lived anchored in the Father's love, and that is the blueprint of our freedom. Trust me, when your worth comes from heaven, earth's opinions lose their ability to cage you. A few weeks later, Sarah posts another video, but this time she doesn't hover over the screen. She doesn't stay to watch the numbers. She smiles, closes the app, and says quietly, even if no one sees this, Lord, I know you do. Daniel, on the other hand, makes a call to his father, not to impress, not to prove any point, but to simply connect. And when silence comes, he feels peaceful, not pressured. Both Tara and Daniel are discovering that freedom doesn't mean becoming less caring. Rather, it has everything to do with becoming whole. Maybe this is your chapter of freedom too. Maybe you've carried expectations that were never yours. Maybe you've spent too long auditioning for a love that was already yours. Maybe you've been performing for people who cannot define you. It's time to lay down the performance and step out of the shadows. Stop rehearsing for the applause that fades like smoke and rest in the approval of the Father who delights in you. You don't have to earn it, you can receive it. You don't have to chase validation, you can walk in truth, because freedom never begins with class. Freedom begins with surrender, with stillness, with the soul whispering, I am enough in Him. So I'd love you to repeat this after me. Today, I step into freedom. I release every need to perform for approval. I am seen, loved, and accepted by God, fully and acceptance. I no longer chase applause, I carry assurance. My worth is not measured by people's voices, but anchored in God's truth. And never forget, this is Luxora.